When all of the information is synthesized, the final report will go to the Synod of Bishops for consideration in the bishops' conversations about the future of the Church. That meeting is set for October 2023. EWTN News Executive Editor and Washington, D.C. Bureau Chief Dr. Matthew Bunson attended that press conference and joins us from our Rome Bureau with more insights into both the consistory and the Synod on Synodality. Matthew, it's great to have you here. The gathering of cardinals and the Pope's desire to consult with them isn't unusual. What does Pope Francis hope to achieve?
Well, it's very clear that Pope Francis, as you note, has now appointed a majority of the members of the College of Cardinals, especially those who might participate in a conclave. That means that those who are under the age of 80. So this is an opportunity to bring that really transformed body since 2014, the last time he brought all of them together, to have very clear discussions. We don't know a lot of the cardinals, but it's also true that a lot of the cardinals don't know each other. So this is a real opportunity for them to get to know each other, to have an assessment of each other, but then to talk about the pressing issues of our time, which I think is one of the goals that Pope Francis has in this discussion about the reform of the Roman Curia as a segue, I think, to other things that he hopes to do.
Might that include some of the various events in the Church, the tightening of restrictions on the Latin Mass and the developments in the German Synod? They would seem the topics ripe for discussion. Will that be a part of this gathering?
Well, publicly, at least, Pope Francis wants them to concentrate on Predicate evangelium, the decree that he used to reform the Roman Curia. That is a decree that's going to impact all of the cardinals, and it might even impact, if speculation is true, the way that the next conclave is going to be conducted. Certainly, Pope Francis has the reform of the central government as it spans out now across the world, and ripples are felt around the world, that the cardinals really want to focus on that. But it is inevitable that as these discussions unfold, that there are going to be pressing issues. I suspect that the upcoming Synod of Bishops, that is now much a topic of conversation here, certainly today, is going to factor into this, as well as, I think, trying to deepen an understanding on the part of all the cardinals of Francis's vision for synodality that has become one of the great hallmarks of this pontificate. So there is much to discuss, and one of the question marks in this extraordinary synod is going to be how open the cardinals feel about expressing opinions and concerns, or is this going to be more of a listening session about that document, Predicate evangelium, more than perhaps setting the table for a conclave?
You mentioned Predicate evangelium and the focus on evangelization. It begs the question of the breakdown of country of origin for new and existing cardinals, as it's still not reflective of the location of the world population of Catholics. Are there any guidelines around those appointments, and do we know what the new cardinals are being elevated will do?
Well, we have seen throughout Francis's pontificate a pattern, and this consistory follows that pattern pretty closely. For example, he has appointed several new prefects or heads of dicasteries. Arthur Roach, for example, the head of the dicastery for liturgy and the sacraments. But then he also, as is his pattern, skipping some of the larger cardinalatial sees, traditional sees. I think of Milan, for example, where one of the suffragan or bishops who are part of that province has been appointed, not actually the Archbishop of Milan, who was himself appointed by Pope Francis, or Cardinal-elect Robert McElroy from San Diego, who's himself a suffragan of Los Angeles. Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, the largest archdiocese in the United States, has quite conspicuously not been given the red hat. But then Francis is also continuing his important pattern of choosing cardinals from the periferia, all the corners of the world. We see that in particular with the appointment of Cardinal Giorgio Marengo, who is the apostolic prefect, not even a diocesan bishop, because this diocese is growing, it's too young, in Mongolia. He's also the youngest of the cardinals at 47, which was the same age as Karol Wojtyła was when he was appointed a cardinal in 1967. So the size of the Catholic population in the given country is no indicator, as far as Francis is concerned, that it's relevant to his appointments. What he wants very clearly is to have these voices from all the corners of the world, and certainly this group coming from East Timor, from India, from Brazil, and Mongolia and Singapore. I think represents Francis's vision for all of those corners being heard.
That's right. Really quickly, just wrapping up the conversation around the Synod on Synodality. It continues with churches around the country and the world cleaning up their listening. What can we expect will come next?
Well, next is the continental phase. So we're moving to the next level for the Synod. These will be going on now for several months as each of the continents sort of try to assemble all of the massive amounts of data. All of this pointing toward next year when it's sent back to Rome. We'll have what's called the Instrumentum Laboris, which is the working document. And then all eyes are looking toward October of 23, when all of us will gather here in Rome to cover the Synod on Synodality, which is now a multi-year process.
We'll be watching closely. Thank you so much, Matthew.